Ross Sallow with GPS to Go. Today we're going to take you through a complete setup of the new Garmin integration bundle using a GO6. So we have one of our new GO6s with the expandable port. So you can see that it has the mini USB connector on the side of it. So come on over and I'm going to show you the pieces of the puzzle here. So you're able to now track your vehicles and communicate with a Garmin navigator, and we have one here. And the bundle that you would use, you need a Garmin navigator. You're going to need one of our GO6s or a Go4 version 3 if you're using that. And then you have this Garmin communication cable. So this is different than the one that you get when you purchase your Garmin navigator. That you can keep, but you won't use it in this bundle. So our Garmin navigation communication cable from Geotab, you see here it has the Geotab name on it. It has some distinct things to it that make it different than the regular power cable that you get with your Garmin navigator. So for the Geotab device to communicate through the cable up to the Garmin navigator, you need one of these cables. So there's a couple of interesting things to look for. So which end goes in what? So I'm going to show you, zoom in on here. So this is the end right on here, and you can see it has that little groove in the back of it. That's the end that goes into the GO6. And this works in such a way that it has a groove for a tie wrap, which we're going to put together and show you. The other end, which is identical to what you would see in your regular Garmin cable that came from the Garmin factory, it plugs into the back. So we're going to put this all together for you. Alright, so things to keep in mind. This is important. When you have your GO6, the mini USB will plug in. It's just that easy. Something that's very important though is that you must take either one of your serialized zip ties, and what I'm going to do is put this together here. You'll need to take one of the serialized blue zip ties that you may get from us, or you can use a regular black plastic tie like I have and cinch that up good and tight. And what that's going to do, you see there's a groove that's specifically made for the zip tie to work through so it doesn't slide off, and it keeps the connection in there really good and tight. And then there's also a groove around the GO6 to keep the black zip tie from moving around, because if you just plug this into the vehicle without that, it might be loose and you might not have a good connection. So we can just cut the end of this off for now. Now another part that you'll notice on here, by the way, and there's a very similar looking port on that. So this is the GO6 expander. So what this allows you to do is we are now going to be able to communicate from the GO6 through the cable up to the Garmin navigator. But if we wanted to have an auxiliary on here, so say for instance you wanted a panic button, say you were somebody who had a snowplow or any kind of operation where you had an auxiliary you wanted to sense, it plugs into here. So now you can, I guess the term is daisy chain it, so you can have one on here and then you can have your auxiliaries coming out of the GO6 expander, and that comes stock inside of here. Alright, so I'm going to move into putting this into the vehicle, showing you, the rest of the installation. I'm not going to do what a professional installer would do by routing the cable and taking the dashboard apart, but we'll show you the basics of what it's going to look like and what you're going to see. So let's move into the vehicle and I'll show you that now. So in the GPS to Go mobile, we have our, I'm just going to loop this over for demonstration purposes. Under here we have our OBD2 port. So this is as easy to do as just plugging it in. So now we have the blue cable tie around the device. We have to remember that not only when we install the GO6 that we need both cable ties to make the system work properly. So on the side here we've got the black cable tie that's holding the Garmin cable securely into the side of the GO6, and then also to keep the GO6 from coming out of the onboard diagnostic port, we have the blue serialized zip tie. So make sure that you use both when you install this product. The unit is coming on. We're going to get all of the indicator lights. We'll be able to see all of that. So your professional installer would take the device and route the wires up through the dash. Now if I plug this into the back, we're going to be able to get power. So I'm going to turn power on the GPS to Go truck. There's our power down there, and the Garmin Navigator comes to life. So this will boot up, and the Garmin Navigator is now connected, and we're going to start sending some messages, and we're going to videotape that. We'll send messages off of the laptop, and we're going to send it right into the Garmin Navigator. So we can see that it's recognizing it because we now have the word Geotab on here. I'm going to turn this off so we lose our beeping here from the car. I'm going to leave the power on for a second. We can now go through and look at things like my stops. So we sent a route through to this one already. We've got messages where I've received messages, and we've got messages in there. So what we're going to do is we'll go back into the computer and send some messages and show you what happens out in the field and what you're going to see on your Garmin Navigator as the driver. Alright, so what we've done now is I've got somebody's going to be sending us a message from their computer at the office, and the message is going to come through. So we're just waiting for that to show up. There we are. So you can see in the corner of the Garmin we now have an icon telling us we have mail. So we'll just simply touch that, and here is our message. So please be sure to pick up an extra case of security ties. So I've read it and I want to reply that I've received it. So I just hit the word OK, and now back at the headquarters they would receive a confirmation of that. We'll show you that in another, we're going to show you that in another screen. Alright, so now we're going to go back, and now we're going to have the people at the headquarters send us one of our planned routes. So we'll wait for that to come through. There we go. So you're getting all of those multiple beeps because as the route comes in, it's sending us stop after stop after stop. So in here we now have, let me back up the camera a little bit here. So we now see we've got Thursday service. So that first location is 2.1 kilometers to the south. So if I touch that, Thursday service going off to the home zone. If I want to take off to do that, I hit the word go. The navigator is going to start calculating from this position. And we are now ready to go. So
please drive to highlighted route.
There we go. So as we would leave, when we arrive at our next stop, it would tell us you have arrived at your next stop, and the next thing that would happen after that is it will tell us the stop after that, and on and on. All the while back at the shop, you're able at the computer to see where the driver is, what they've been doing, every stop they've made, and are they on the plan that you've put together. Alright, something else that you can do with this is if I hit the back screen, so I'm going to go all the way back to the main screen. So our icon is now Geotab. Our messages are in here. If I want to create a message, I simply hit create message. I'm going to send my name and hello and done. Would I like to send that message? I'll hit the word yes, and the message is gone. A quick message is something that is a canned message that you set up. So you can set that up for things like a response that you're doing a lot, like Left turns are always on. Here's the number of cases that we've got with a certain thing. 3 skids, 4 skids, whatever kind of a quick message. Box is half empty, box is half full, this kind of a thing. Now we've pulled in the driveway, we've arrived at our destination point. So if I was to go in one more time here, so we're at the destination point on the screen. If I push the back button, if I go back into Geotab, I've got my stops.
Arriving at destination point on right.